Fill her up.
You're listening to the Gas Digital Network.
I went online to become a private detective. It was a private detective school online, and I paid online. I never heard from them again. I thought to myself, I either got ripped off, or this is my first case. This is a journalistic podcast, Shannon. We vaccinate our listeners with answers. And I'm going to keep lip-syncing the important questions until TikTok gives me a show. Shannon, how can the moon landing be real if the moon itself is fake?
That's not true, Mike.
Oh, isn't it true, Shannon? You're fake. You're a hologram.
1 in 5 New Yorkers are food insecure. What's your solution for that, Mike?
Fortune cookie. Because that's food and advice at the same time. Shannon, at least have the decency to backstab me, okay? You stab me in the front every time. Some fans can't watch the podcast because they're triggered by our sexuality. And message to those fans, we will leak a sex tape right into your mouth.
This is Mike Vecchione Investigates.
And you're not better than me. Welcome to another episode.
Yo.
We almost didn't get the sound on, which is pretty important to podcasting. Yeah. I just took a shot at the lovely ladies in the booth who were very competent, usually, but they shit the bed on this one.
I will take the fall
with the
for
sound. Young Natalie, who's in a committed relationship, I found out as I gave her a rose last week.
Oh,
and
get that
was
rose
rebuffed. Back. No, she took the rose.
I took the rose.
She took the rose, and she appreciated it as a kind gesture. But then she let me know on no uncertain terms that she was in a committed one. And fans, thank you for joining us once again. You're not better than us. I mean, you're on your high horse, and you probably think that you're better than us, but you're not. So I like to start off by saying that, and I'll start off with a confrontation by confronting you and letting you know that you're not better than me, and whatever stars I bring in here, you should be shining their shoes. You should be licking the soles of their feet, which is it's extreme in these COVID times, but you get the point. Okay, so thank you for joining us, and we need numbers, guys, so tell a friend. A lot of you guys probably do drugs, so hit up your drug dealer, tell him to listen, and to spread the word. Spread the word like he spreads the drugs. You guys are great, though, and we had fans write in, and that's not fake news. They're actually writing in and sending stuff in. So thank you so much, and thank you for being at the YouTube premiere. I stopped in last week, and there was a lot of good stuff going on, and your positive comments, they make our hearts sing, Shannon. And we appreciate you. And I think it's lost a lot of times that I don't appreciate you because I am condescending and I talk down to you. But I do appreciate you. And I don't think love is too strong of a word. I love you. And I will not make love to you, but I do love you. So thank you for joining the podcast and being a part of the Mike Vecchione Investigates army. An army of investigators is what we're trying to create here. But in order for that to happen, you guys got to get out of your bed, get a cup of coffee, and start the day. The day doesn't start at 4, okay? Just a message to the fans. Yeah. Now, before I get into it, I have to bring our fellow comedian. I brought him in because of his, I think he's going to be a big star. He's on his way, steady rise. And I've always liked this young man, and I could say it because I'm in advancing years, and I don't have much time left here. But this young man does. Monroe Martin is back on the podcast. Welcome, Monroe.
Yo, thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining us. And it was a little hot in here, and we got into a whole debate about it. Yeah. And being the comics that we are, we let the jokes go on Shannon. Shannon was like, the temperature is 68. And I was like, Celsius? Fahrenheit? Like what? Yeah. 68 what, Shannon? And then you said, what was your joke?
I said it feels like DR in here. Because the DR resorts feel muggy. And the air is wet and hot.
And full of baseballs.
Yeah.
Right.
Or fake booties.
Fake booties and baseballs, DR, and we're not insulting it. We are complimenting you. I lived uptown for 8 years. And so we're having a lot of fun on this podcast. That's a thing that's happening now. Everybody rates everything every 5 seconds. Yeah. How would you think it's going right now?
I think it's a 10. Is that the highest?
It's a 10. Let's make it the highest. We have our own scale. Yeah. Or you could do it with an emoji. Is it a taco? Is it a taco with streamers coming out of it?
I think so. I think it's it's a patty pie. It's a pumpkin patty pie.
That's a thing now?
That's the thing.
Because
you never had a patty pie?
Patty pie, pumpkin patty pie?
Yeah.
Is it a white thumbs up or a black thumbs up?
Black thumbs up.
Okay, because it's your month?
Mm-hmm.
It's February.
Okay.
It still is.
Shit. All right. Yeah, I had to look at the phone because I'm like, it feels like it's just breezing by.
It feels like it's Black history. And for you to say that it's not is almost like you're putting up a Confederate statue right here in the studio.
Oh.
Dare I say it? Okay, well, Monroe, did you guys ever think of negotiating for 6 weeks? Because it's such a short month.
Negotiated. Why not try to get 2 months out of the deal? Mm-hmm. If being a part of America is that important to Black people,
right?
Why settle for a month?
Why settle for a month?
Get half the year.
Half the year, I would say.
Yeah.
Do Africans celebrate Black History Month?
Africans in America?
In Africa.
Nah.
Because it's Black History Month every month.
Yeah, because they got their own shit going on. You know what I mean? They got their own apartheids and shit. So,
right.
Yeah.
Well, they have their own continent, basically.
Yeah.
So it's like, we don't need a month. We have our own continent.
Yeah.
Good luck with your continent.
Yeah.
Are you happy with this continent? North America? We're North America.
Yeah.
You'd rather be on South America?
Because even being poor here, or at least the level of poor I experienced, I still got sneakers and a roof over my head and like meals. Like, I've been to third world countries. They don't even have shoes.
Right. No shoes. Half the day is getting water.
Half the day is getting water and being around a book. Like, school is one book for the whole neighborhood.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they're reading like a pop-up book about like purple, and then that's school.
So if it's one book, then they have to do everything like a rumor. Yeah. You know, it's saying somebody reads the one book and then they go, I heard Jack and Jill went up the hill. I heard that. And they go, oh, that's good. And then they pass it on to somebody else. Like you said, telephone, but they don't know what telephone.
Yeah, they don't have those.
They don't have telephones.
Yeah.
That's their...
Yeah, they got your...
Yeah. Jack and Jill went up the hill. And they just say, I heard that. I heard that Jack and Jill went up the hill. Still crippling hot in here, but it's okay. We're surviving. And
Shannon don't care.
Shannon doesn't care.
She does not care.
The AC is as low as it can go right now.
Yeah, Shannon, as low as it wants to go because it knows who's in here. It knows I'm here.
Right.
Yeah. It's a smart AC.
It's a smart one because we have a smart podcast today.
Yeah.
And Shannon, are you somebody who writes no F's given?
No.
Okay.
Or do you say fucks? Sorry.
That's okay. It's
I don't use either of those terms, I don't think.
No F's given?
Mm-mm.
Do you say sorry, not sorry, Mike, because of the air?
No.
Are you going to try to use that?
No.
Because I'm ready for anything. And me and Monroe are ready for everything.
I'm prepared for you to dismiss the situation like it's not important.
Because Monroe took his jacket off, and that's also a sign that he wants to fight someone, hopefully not me. Because the jacket comes off, and it's like, what's up? What's up? Yeah, or what?
I'm going to swindle you. I'm like a shitty promoter, like a comedy promoter. I'm like,
yes.
Here, get comfortable. Then you know I'm safe, but I'm not.
Well, I know the swindle is coming if you provide me with a meal. That means I'm not getting paid.
Absolutely.
Okay. But you kept your cap on, just in case, because you got to keep your... you got to keep everything. Got
to
what you're
protect
thinking.
the
you got to
fro
protect it
for Black History.
Do you have a fro?
Yeah, I'm letting my hair grow. I'm sitting, but right now I don't got it where I want it to be. So
don't let the fans see too much. They can't handle a lot. Yeah, you've got to incrementally with these fans. I know it. You've got to incrementally bring them along.
Yeah, I should have left it on to let them investigate.
Yeah, let them investigate a black man's hair. Could they do that as whites?
Yeah,
we have some whites who are fans.
Touch it. Like, they can't touch my hair and be all up in it, but if they can examine it via video, absolutely.
They can touch it if they want to get their fucking grill dented. What are kids saying now when punched in the face?
What do they say?
Get their grill smashed.
As Natalie's the young one.
Natalie, can you help us here?
But she don't look violent.
She doesn't look violent, but she knows this kind of Gen Z language. Their grill, their dome smacked up.
Yeah.
Their dome
I
split
think you should say that, yeah.
Dome piece.
Monroe might have to open the cap on some of the... Twist the cap.
Pop the cap.
Pop the cap.
And twist your cap. Pop the cap is shooting.
Right.
Twist your cap is
pistol whip.
No, is hitting. Is socking.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Twist the cap.
Twist the cap.
We don't want to
You're about
shoot
get your
anybody.
cap twisted.
It's a
No, I wouldn't
it's a
shoot
nonviolent
nobody.
podcast.
Yeah.
But it is a handsy podcast.
Very handsy.
It's handsy. So
Cuomo style.
Cuomo. Yeah. Should him and his brother get a show?
Yes.
They should, right?
Absolutely. Why not?
What network would pick them up, do you think, though?
Fox.
Mm-hmm.
Fox will do a late night thing. Or they'll put it on the app. They'll do like a Fox app.
Yeah.
And do you want to see a reality show or like a talk show?
A talk show.
Yeah.
A talk show and then a behind the scenes, like just all inclusive.
That's
I think
HBO
people really
Max.
people want to see that.
That's HBO Max or Paramount. I'll watch that. I'll watch the Cuomo's.
So would I.
Yeah.
I'm interested in them. I don't agree with them. But even Chris Cuomo, I'm not a big whatever fan. But I did like the fact that guy called him Fredo and he threatened to push him down a flight of stairs. Because that's a visceral reaction. The guy it's not an ethnic, I'm an Italian. I don't know if you're aware of that.
Go ahead. Yeah, I didn't know.
It wasn't an ethnic slur that made me mad. It just the guy was trying to disrespect him.
Absolutely.
That's what the issue is, not ethnicity.
Yeah.
So I was
trying to call him like a goon or some sort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He tried to. It's just a different way to try to insult somebody.
Yeah.
So I was like, no, that was right, and that made me like him. But just watching him and all like the propaganda that he spun, I'm just not.
He was trying to call him a barbarian or some sort.
Yeah. I'm just not a fan of that. But,
I get that.
But I would like to see that those two guys have a show.
I would see, the Cuomo.
Should there be a network for everyone who's been canceled?
The canceled network. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would watch that.
And then one network it's right after the cancer network.
Oh,
cancer and then canceled.
Cancel cancer.
Right.
People who with cancer who got canceled. Yeah,
that's a very specific. That's like a time slot.
I know. It's them not giving a fuck because they're on their way out anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
I like that.
I like that.
Because there's something profound about people who are on their way out.
Yeah.
And
the truth comes out.
Yeah. You find that they let go of everything that's really not that important.
Yeah. But we're all on our way out anyway.
It's true.
So
we're all on a time. What's
Yeah.
that? A ticking time. I'm not good with the phrases today, Shannon, and you seem to be.
We're all on borrowed time.
Borrowed time.
Boom.
Thank you, Monroe.
I'm investigating today.
You're investigating and you're keeping your big brain warm.
Yeah,
apparently. And mine.
They call this a kufi in some religions.
Well, I think it's called a thinking cap in this podcast because you're coming up with all the answers. It's like we're finishing each other's sentences. Should we do a show?
Yeah.
Right after the Cuomos.
Right after
maybe the Cuomos.
Okay.
Because I thought about doing a show with you. I mean, I don't have the energy to write it right now, but I thought about doing a show with you because for the listeners out there, for those of you who haven't fallen asleep and are drooling on yourself.
Yeah, I think they're up. I think they're nodding off, but I think they're
nodding off.
Y'all are up. Stay up.
Stay
gumshoes,
up.
right? What's a gumshoe?
Gumshoe?
Isn't that like a detective? Isn't that old language for detective?
That's an old timey.
So y'all, instead of calling them investigators, gumshoes.
Is that a real word, Shannon?
Gumshoe?
Or is Monroe trying to trick us?
No, I remember cartoons.
Yes, it was a Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego?
Yeah.
That's what the commissioner would always say for us gumshoes to help find Carmen Sandiego.
Yeah,
Gumshoe is detective.
Yes.
Okay.
Let's go.
And Shannon didn't even have to look it up.
Yeah, and I'm just old. I feel like none of the listeners know what Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego is.
That taught me how to type.
Really?
Because they used to have a computer game and you had to also type. It was like Mavis Beacon meets Carmen Sandiego. And you had to find clues and then type them in real quick.
Wow. I mean, I learned to type in typing class in my high school on a typewriter.
You went to one of them good schools.
Nah, I went to I was a good school actually, but it was public.
Yeah.
It was a good public school. But the reason I think that we should have a show and our fans are if they would come out from under their beds.
Wake
up.
up.
They're hiding. We should have a show because you were in
foster care
school, group home schools, and I worked in group home schools. And I think I'm much older than you. So in the time you were there, I think I was working. And it was Philadelphia area, but I don't think it was the same school.
I don't think we worked in I was in Devereaux.
Yeah. But I worked in similar schools.
Yeah, you did Glen Mills or something like that, right?
Glen Mills and PCV.
I knew people in Glen Mills. I didn't know anyone in PCV, which is, what again was that stand for? PCV?
Presbyterian Children's Village.
No. I know about that one. That one had girls.
Yes, that had girls.
Yeah.
And that was problematic, which is a word people are using
because they'd be trying to sneak off into the woods and fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus the hormones are all kicking then.
Yeah.
It's like, you can't have that. You can't be working on yourself with the hormones kicking. You're trying to show off. Half the problems are the guys are trying to show off for the girls.
Absolutely.
So
but
if
the
you're
girls
threatened
be trying to show off too.
That's true.
Yeah.
But if you're threatened with a restraint, and you clear the room because the kid doesn't want to leave the room, he disrespected a teacher, whatever.
Yeah.
And you go in and you gotta leave the room. It looks like he can't save face.
Yeah, you're embarrassing him. Instead of just being like, hey, yo, come talk to me real quick. Now, not a lot of staff members took that approach. But you knew the staff was cool when the kid can be like going crazy about to flip over the table and the staff go over to him and just like hand on the shoulder and be like, you wilding, right? And then the kid just kind of like dwarfs and then they know they have that connection because he knows the motive. He's like, I'm not trying to embarrass you in front of your peers, but you wilding. I'm gonna make you aware of yourself.
But the thing that gets tricky, Monroe, is okay. I'm not in the classroom. I'm in the hallway behavior management.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so I got to handle those situations and other staff too, not just me. But the kid gets into a confrontation with the teacher, and the teacher goes, "You got to go."
Yeah.
And then I go in and go, "We got to go." It's like, "Nah, I'm not leaving." And it's like, "Okay, I hear you.
Yeah, but
I hear you,
go.
but we got to go because I got to support staff."
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? So and then if the kid decides to go all in,
and some kids swing.
Some kids swing and some kids threaten. They go, you're gonna be in a problem then because I'm gonna swing on you. And I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. Like I work here.
Yeah.
This is my job.
Yeah.
So if you swing on me, I guess I'll just have to deal with it when it happens.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was very straight up.
You ever got swung on?
Yeah. I almost had a girl take out my eye.
With what?
With her fingernails. Because somebody didn't secure a limb.
Why did they let her get her nails done? I
know, that's right. I think she got her nails done specifically to take my eye out. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I probably. Yeah, I wasn't allowed to get like any of that stuff. I didn't I grew up in ones with girls too, and they never were like manicured. You know what I mean? They were like rough.
They should have known when she booked an appointment with the salon.
Yeah,
she was gonna
give me the claw.
Yeah, just an upscale scratching. But I mean, she felt bad afterwards. But it was really the fact that you got to secure it when you go to restrain.
Yeah.
And people don't understand this about restraints. And now with what's going on with the whatever, it's like cops and stuff. It's like, not that I'm defending. Not that I'm defending
sometimes
situation.
You gotta cut the oxygen. Oh, fuck it.
No, what you have to do though, not cut the oxygen, is you have to overpower. Whoever you're restraining. Like, it's not a fair... People look at it like, oh, this looks like you're jumping somebody. It's like, no. You have to overpower them in order to bring them safely to the ground and secure limbs.
Yeah.
Overpowering and secure limbs is key because of safety reasons.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the person will take your eye out.
Absolutely. But there are some people, because just growing up in that environment, there are some people who... get the kid down and do the little extra because it took him a while.
Yes.
So it needs to, you know what I mean?
Right about
it needs to be, it still needs to be like some technique of like, you got him where you want.
Right.
Don't take that extra step of like yanking the arm up or forcing them down harder. Because people do that.
They do it.
Yeah, do it.
Do it.
They do it.
The whole point is to get the person to the ground. And, but with force, because you have to overpower them, get them to the ground, secure the limbs, and then de-escalate.
But some people don't want to de-escalate. A lot of the staff were overweight, at least the one that I was at. Like, so you had a lot of staff like who were out of shape, but they knew how to use their body weight. So they would like pick you up, full Nelson, slam you, and then lay on top of you. And then that was going overboard because it's like, you didn't have to lay on top of me.
Right.
Yeah. Like
I agree with that. But the extra stuff too with the staff is also a person, and I understand they're a professional person and they're getting paid whatever, and they're not. But if you have a resident and they're asked to leave and they do all kinds of suck my dick, I'll fuck you up.
You don't gotta suck their dick.
I'll fuck your cousin. I'll fucking beat your cousin up. I'll get my cousins up here. That was a big one. I'm gonna get my cousins.
They don't have
up
any
here.
though.
But they were threatening to bring your cousins.
They wouldn't be there.
Right.
I never used that. Like, I'm gonna get my mom. What's she gonna do?
Right.
Yeah.
Write a letter.
Yeah.
A strongly worded letter.
Nah, I'm here because of that.
Yeah, but they're not honest like that in the moment. And it's like after all those threats, it becomes, a thing where it's like, all right, well, let's just cut to it. After a while of doing that job, I was just like, let's just cut to it. Either you have to walk out of the room because there were some, but there were some staff who would like, I don't know, they would side up to the kids too much and be like, "Yo, dog, come on, we can't." It's like, no,
trying to be their friend.
Yeah, trying to be their friend. It's like, look, dude, I get it, but like, we gotta leave the room now.
Yeah.
Or it's gonna be like an ugly situation. We don't want that.
Working with kids is difficult, and working with troubled kids is even harder.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Because trust level is broken.
Absolutely. And I was telling this to my wife. I was like, I grew up with having very limited respect for adults, and that's weird to like grow up, become an adult with. Like, so authority isn't really that important to me because adults really didn't have authority.
Right.
And you know what I mean? Or at least they abused it to make you go, fuck them.
Yes.
So, like, you know what I mean?
I understand that.
Yeah, I have a problem with, like, people of power because I'm like, you ain't nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
Or you're trying to, like, because the trust level was broken.
Yeah.
See, I was raised with a kind of way where it was like, you just do what you're, like, it was not a good way.
Yeah,
in retrospect, not a good way but it was just do what you're told.
Yeah.
And it's like, do you trust me?
Yeah.
Like, my parent, do you trust me? Do you trust your mother? Do you trust your coaches and teachers?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, then you just do what you're told.
Yeah.
Not just questioning stuff.
See, we met a different group of adults. Like, usually we're there because of, like, something our parents or family members did. Mm-hmm. And then those are the first people that break your trust. So now you're like, well, if the person that is responsible for my being here ain't shit, then why would I trust you?
Right.
You know what I mean? You're
That's
like,
exactly right.
Why would I trust you if this person ain't shit?
And then not to get too far into it, and you could deny to answer the question if you want, but I might have to use tactics in order to get it out of you. Did you have we had therapists at this place?
Yeah,
so they connected with therapists, and they would go to their therapist, and the therapist a lot of time would make me laugh because they didn't want to give the kids bad news, and they would need us in there in case the kid flipped out, in order to like control the situation. Like if they home passes on the weekends, like if the parents bailed or did whatever, it would be like 5 o'clock on a Friday, and they'd be like, we gotta tell this kid that his home pass was taken, and I'm like, all right, well, you're telling him, I'll be in the room with you, but you're telling him.
Oh, absolutely.
So they would tell him, and the kid would flip, and then I would be there for 2 hours extra.
Yeah. See, well, it depends on where I was. I was in like a couple group homes where you got that home pass privilege, and I guess like some of them would have the therapist, but some of them would just like they have staff members, and like the staff members for the kids who stayed back and couldn't go home, they would try to make it a little bit more fun. So they'd pull out the PlayStation or whatever. Right. And I'm like, all right, I see. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, kids, used to work holidays because it was shift work. Yeah. And I'd work like Easter and stuff and those holidays, Christmas. Yeah. And it's like the kids on those holidays who would be there, they don't have anybody.
Yeah.
So it's like, you try to make it nice. You try to make it nice as possible. And just like relax. And it's usually less kids because most of the kids go home. Mm-hmm. So it's like 4 or 5 kids or whatever. It's like, you do cool stuff. You maybe go to the movies. You maybe go off campus, do an activity, which I never like because the responsibility is just huge if one kid, something happens. But like, you do nice stuff. Yeah. Yeah. And
I would say sometimes it would be better to stay there because the gifts, I remember like actually choosing to do group home Christmases because they gave me like a Game Boy Color, video games and shit I wanted. And then you go home, you get a bunch of like knickknacks from a dollar store, but they're like, I love you though. You're like, God damn. It's like, this love ain't fun.
You were at Devereaux?
I did Devereaux Brandywine, yeah.
You know who went to Devereaux?
Who?
Sylvester Stallone.
Oh, yeah.
He's your most famous alumni.
I know. I think they had a picture of him there or some shit. Yeah.
A Rocky picture or Rambo?
I think it was a Rocky picture.
Okay. Because Rambo is like, you get thrown out of a town, and then you come back and you just like beat up the entire police force.
Murder everybody. Like, I mean, in there, some kids probably had Rambo posters under their pillow.
Yeah.
You know, like this is.
But he was a Devereaux kid. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So, how did you? You seem like a well-adjusted.
I'm not.
Everybody's got their personal problems and stuff. But you seem like a. You seem like a guy. I don't know. Like just knowing you now. Yeah. If I was staff and you were a resident, there's a thing about you where it's like I don't think you would have been a problem. Maybe you were a problem, but I don't think you would have been because you're somebody that I feel like even back then, before you acquired all these whatever skills and you're wiser, obviously, but that you could talk to and you would understand reason?
I think that took a while. I would say I still have wild moments where you just think emotionally, but I think I'm very observant. So after a while, if I do the same thing over and over again and I start to look back and look at my behavior and then seeing what's leading to the consequences, then I'm like, more like, well, this is stupid now. You know what I mean? Like I would say that's one of my gifts of like growing up. Yeah. Is that I was very observant and I was like, could be introspective. So I did allow people to talk to me because I was that kid that you could beat and I'll still be out there doing the same shit. But if you sat there and you talked to me, then I start crying because you're making me face something. Now I'm like, fuck, okay, now I'm responsible. I can't just be this knucklehead kid who don't give a fuck about anything.
But the way that you're talking now, even the way that you're talking now, like I don't think a lot of kids in that situation and people in general have that kind of self-awareness. Where's that from?
That's just because of the people in my life. I was lucky to have a balance of like people who were like shitty and then some people who went above and beyond and were like, who like made sure to like sit down and talk to me and give me these tools. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, and I would say like that really started developing maybe around like 15, 16, because I started going to like after school programs and stuff like that and getting a little bit more involved in the foster care like thing. Because, you know, there's a whole like industry where you can go meet politicians and shit like that. So once I started doing that, started being around people who cared a little bit more and they'll be like, yo, you don't got to act like that. Or maybe try to look at a situation like this. And I was like, oh, all right.
Well, the whole thing, I mean, everything's good when everybody's feeling good. The breakdown comes when there's a conflict. Yeah. Or it's a bad day. Yeah. Like I'd have great, I'd have great rapport with kids. But if there was a bad day, that's when it would break down. So how did you figure out how to remedy like, I can handle this differently?
Well, it depends on what you're talking about. Like in the group homes, I think the thing that made me kind of change my behavior in group homes were the privileges that you got. Like you know, Devereaux had 2 cottages, so they would have not 2 cottages. It was a bunch of cottages, but they had like 2 different sections, and they had the section that was like gin pop, basically, where everybody woke up at the same time, went to school at the same time, ate dinner at the same time, and then they had like the little cottage down the hill where as long as you were at school at 8:00 and like paying attention and focused and you kept your grades up and stuff, you can cook your own meals. You could there wasn't a bunch of staff. There was 1 staff member. Most of the kids were older and you had to clean the house and stuff. And I like that over being in Gen Pop. So I was like, whatever I got to do to get this. Yeah. I'm a dude.
Oh, so that's the reward system did work for you.
The reward system worked because I'm like...
So the reward system initiated the self... You had the reward system to initiate the self-awareness to go, oh, yeah, this is a way... So even if you're dealing with a situation where you're being dealt unfairly, which is life, you know, you're like, oh, maybe I handle it differently.
Yeah, but it took a lot of practice to even get there because sometimes you know what you want, but something happens, you're still like, fuck this, and you react to it. Right. But it took a lot of those times for me to finally be like, well, fuck this thing. I want that. Like all these kids, they get to go on field trips and have fun, and they got video games, and I want to be a part of that group. Yeah. And then I adopted that behavior in group homes, and then when I was in foster care, it was kind of the same thing where it was just like I was living in homes that were a little shitty, they were a little unfair, whatever, but when I would go to the after school programs, if your grades were good or whatever, or you like participated in some of their programs where you got to you would have to go to seminars and talk to different people and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh, well, they get to go on trips and they get like $100 a month for school supplies and stuff. So I'm going to go this route. And I've always went the route with the most rewards. Right. You know what I mean? Right. So that's what kind of keeps me like being like, all right, I got that anger in me to blow up every once in a while. But I'm like, I know where that's going to get me. I know what just kind of keeping you cool gets you. So I'm like, let me just go to this.
So the reward system actually worked for you in terms of it internalized.
Because there's a reward for everything.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
even if it's not like a physical, like tangible, like it still be like some peace or some peace of mind or whatever.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm like, whatever's going to make me happiest, that's what I'm gonna do.
That's a great way to look at things. That's a great way to look at stuff. Did you have to get restrained at all?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
They love restraining my big ass. They love restraining my big ass. I was like, I don't know. At first, I was like skinny all the way up until like 11th grade.
Mm-hmm.
But I was still like, I don't know. I had like big kid strength, even though I was like a skinny kid or whatever.
Right.
So I would be one of those kids that was like, you ain't going to be able to just get me in the move that you want real quick. I'm going to slip out of it.
Right.
I never punched. I never like punched and kicked, but I would like fucking slip out and like push.
Pull the Houdini.
And then they would get a little bit more like rough, like they do the rug burn shit.
Devereaux was like Glenn Mills. I had rug burn, yeah. Glenn Mills. Devereaux was like Glenn Mills in terms of the staff was big, like most ex-athletes and stuff.
Oh, like, absolutely.
Glenn Mills, I was like the smallest guy at Glenn Mills, like working there. Everybody else is huge, and big. So the staff,
some big
was
ass
staff
dudes,
big?
like
they
would just
were
like
jacked.
yoke you up, like fucking lift you off your feet, and you would have to like pull your body weight down or something like that. It was like crazy.
I had a good wrestling background though, so when I would get a hold of a limb, or sometimes you'd have to restrain kids by yourself back then, you could get you have to secure them. Once I secured them, I wasn't letting go.
It taught me how to wrestle.
They would kick, and they would also like
headbutt.
Headbutt.
Yeah.
You're not looking for the headbutt. You're looking to secure the limbs, and then boom, you catch one in the nose, and then it teaches you. It's like, wow, the headbutt is really a big thing. Then you bring them to the ground.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to secure the legs.
I did an MMA class like years ago, and like we was doing like grappling and shit, and the guy was like, how the fuck do you know how to do that? And I'm like, just growing up, and that like these fucking staff would grab you, and then you gotta reverse it on them, and they try to grab you, and you gotta flip it. These motherfuckers will be going at it with you. It's like WWE.
Yeah.
It
does. It's a whole big thing.
And
it's
they
a whole
would make
big
you
thing.
do exercise in the morning, so it was kind of like, it was weird because we would have to get up and do Taekwondo in the morning.
I like that.
And do push-ups. But now we putting it to the test. Anytime you tell us to sit down, they'll be like, nah, nigga, I got these muscles. I got these kid muscles.
But then it becomes, you know what I didn't like? I don't mind the physical confrontation. What I didn't like was the tension before it went down, because it was always like a huge buildup. It was never just like do this, and it's like, no, I'm not doing this. Forget you. And then it's like a back and forth confrontation, and then the room clears. Staff comes in. We're all sitting there. And it's like, all right, what's it gonna be? You know, I don't like that buildup, that tension buildup. The actual physicalness of it, first of all, doesn't last very long.
Yeah, it's like
if it goes well.
It's like a couple seconds.
Yeah, and second of all, it's just like it's too tense. Does timeout work? Did you have timeout?
Yeah, but the timeout was like, it was like a room a little smaller than this, with like a little hole in the door, like not a hole, but like a little window in the door, and it was like a white cement room.
Right.
And they would like leave you in there for like a couple hours. They leave you in there.
But staff
for like
has to be in there with you.
No, the staff would sit outside the door, and he would read newspapers and books and shit, and they would like. I remember one staff would just read the newspaper out loud, and you'd be like, "Shut up, we don't care." And he would just do it.
Is that why you hate current events now?
Yes, I hate it
because of a timeout.
Yeah,
Shannon, this is kind of a timeout room. Is this? This is where you put that is a smaller timeout room. This timeout room is more privileges. Than that smaller timeout.
This one
room
they're going to give me a fruit cup.
Yeah, fruit cup is a big one.
Yeah.
Do they give you a standard lunch and timeout, or do they go to the cafe and get you whatever you wanted?
No, they give you whatever's being served.
Right.
But usually, there was like 3 options, but they're not picking, so they're not going like, we're going to give you all 3. You're in timeout. They're going to give you what they think you should get. So sometimes they'll give you more like rice than meat or whatever. And that should be funny.
High carb.
Yeah. Like
trying to get you to slow down because you just gave them a hard time.
Put you to sleep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, we had a thing called meds also, where the kids would have to take the meds, and then we had to look in their mouth to make sure that they took the meds.
Under the
tongue. I know all the tricks.
Yeah.
And
the trick was to actually like swallow it and try to get it to like stay right here, and then cough it up later.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know you were a drug mule. Wow, a rare joke. We're having a meaningful conversation, and we're still managing to slip jokes in there.
Yeah.
So fans, you should be grateful
because we're good comics.
And we're really good comics. And a lot of you don't even get that we're really good. And you're going to see in plugs that we're working everywhere. And it's not just a podcast. And we're in a timeout room right now, which is also a podcast studio, but we're in the bigger timeout room because privileges. And it's weird that we are in
this is what a timeout room kind of looks like. I like this over like the rooms that I used to get put in. It was just like the hole was like this big. I know for people who are listening, it was like maybe like a 4x4 hole.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? 4 inch by 4 inches, and you just gotta like look out of it.
Was it padded? Was the room padded?
No, it was cement.
Cement.
Yeah, because they're like, if you want to punch the wall, go ahead, we dare you.
Yeah.
But you would like have to call staff pussies through a little window.
Yeah.
Because you're like, pussy, I'll fuck you up. Yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
And it's like the windows like, it's tiny.
All those threats. I received all of those threats.
Yeah, because that's the only way you know how to communicate. You know you can't beat this staff ass, but the anger in you makes you feel like you can.
I would say, they would say that to me, and I would get, come on, you don't mean that.
Yeah.
Come on, you don't mean that.
Yeah, you know you can't.
You don't mean that, you know? We have a good rapport.
Yeah.
Are you forgetting what a good rapport we have?
Yeah.
You're just having a bad day.
Yeah.
Come on.
Come on. What's the matter?
What's the matter? I would the timeout also. I would. I don't think it works actually, and if it's used the wrong way. But after kids taken out of pop because of restraint or whatever, and put in timeout, they flip out for a while, and then it's like, okay, first of all, you can't put more than one kid in a timeout.
Yeah,
I've seen that where it's like multiple kids in timeout, and it's like just becomes
in
a party.
the same room.
Yeah, in the same room.
Oh yeah, now y'all just partying and yelling, or there becomes another argument.
Right.
Where they're like, get me out of here with this motherfucker, and they start going at it. Yeah,
it just becomes a they like you have to negotiate stuff. It shouldn't be that way.
We used to do wing shutdowns.
What's that?
Oh, I thought you didn't know. So wing shutdowns basically is like if close to the majority of your kids are fucking acting up, then everybody has to go back to their rooms, and they just shut the whole wing down. Because there used to be multiple wings. It used to be like the left wing, the right wing, then like the I guess there was like a middle, not really a wing, but it was like 3 different sections. And whatever section you were in, if everybody was fucking up, go back to your section, and you got to stay in your room until like dinner time or whatever.
Was the right wing mostly Nazis? And the left wing were fascists.
Yeah, a lot of beefs.
A lot of beefs.
No one can see eye to eye on anything.
Beefs, which is against what Shannon's a vegan. Anyway, all right, guys, let's take a second to talk about our friends over at rockauto.com. Hey there, auto mechanics and super cool do-it-yourself guys who work on their own cars. I want to tell you about rockauto.com, the online store with every auto part at the best prices. This is your one-stop shop for everything auto parts. RockAuto.com has been in business for 20 years, and they make it easy to find the parts you need at the best possible prices. No more talking to counter guys who need to order your parts, aren't really sure what you're looking for, never have quite what you need, and then after all the hassle, will still charge you storefront markups. At rockauto.com, you can easily find everything you need, and whether you're a mechanic, an auto shop, or working on your own car, everyone has access to the same incredible pricing at rockauto.com. So if you're a car guy, right now go to rockauto.com and check out all the parts available for your car. You're going to have so much fun looking at car parts. So once again, go to rockauto.com. No promo code needed, as their pricing is already that good. When you order, make sure to tell rockauto.com that you heard about them on Mike Vecchione Investigates. rockauto.com. All right, guys, let's get back into it. Let me go back to the timeout thing because I find it very important. Yeah. You're coughing.
I'm like this.
You're good. You're healthy, right?
You're healthy? Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's COVID times. We have to check everybody.
No problem, man.
Okay.
I'm boosted up, too.
Boosted up?
Boosted up.
Vaxxed and boosted.
Vaxxed and boosted. I was used to that because of group home.
Right.
Because you got to get all sorts of shots and shit like that. So when people are like, are you scared? I'm like, no. What?
I was
scared?
No, I was on steroids in the 90s. So.
You were?
No. Oh, it was a joke. All natural.
Because when I met you, like, you're still in shape, but when I met you, you were like Vecchione, like you had fucking rookie cop muscles.
Yes. I was there's too much weight.
Yeah.
It wasn't a good thing. It was me overeating and then working. I also worked out, but like me overeating, and fortunately, I got it under control.
Oh, okay,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
And my hydration is good thanks to Katie Hannigan.
Shout out to Katie.
Shout out to Katie accusing me of dehydration, which is that's a new method that I've never heard of in my life.
To cut weight?
You accuse someone of dehydration.
Yeah.
You're dehydrated. It's like, it's startling.
That's what they tell you, though. You're that's not your wife, but that's your girl, and she's something like it. Yeah, so I get that too. They just start coming down on you.
But it's one of those things where it's like, she's smarter. There's one person always smarter in the relationship. Yeah. She's smarter. So I give her that. But once in a while, she'll stumble onto something that I know about.
Oh, absolutely.
And I know about dehydration because I wrestled, and the weight that you cut at the end, when you get real close to weight, you have to cut the water weight.
Yeah.
So I know what it feels like to be dehydrated. Mm-hmm. So she'll stumble into something that I actually know about, and then that's when I come full force back at her.
Yeah, you start cracking your knuckles like you done walked into the wrong place, girl.
Yes. You walked into the wrong octagon.
Yeah.
So once in a while that'll happen. But I want to go back to timeout for a second.
Timeout.
So because our timeout rooms were different, we had multiple kids in there sometimes. That was a zoo. But I like the fact that if you put a kid in timeout, take them out of pop, put them in timeout, they calm down. And I don't know if you guys, do you have desks in timeout?
No, it's just nothing in it. What I'm telling you, it was just a white cement room. Nothing.
Well, I would give a kid a clipboard or something and a pen and give them work because they're missing work in class. The class is, they're missing work.
Yeah.
So give them the work and then work with them and then have them work their way out of time. Once they complete a certain number of things, then they can get out of timeout and go back to general pop because it's like, okay, you had it. Let's not hold that against them for the rest. It's not supposed to be a punitive thing. Yeah. So it's like get in there, you calm down, and then do the work to get out, and then go back in. And realize the psychology behind it is realize your mistake, make the association that you lost privileges and that you're in a confined area, and that you're down, and now you work your way out, and now you work your way back up.
Yeah, that's the way. So that's how it ended. Before that, kids would get put in timeout because they didn't know the work, and they would disrupt the class, and it would just give them a break from the class. Right. And the staff member would just sit with them and talk to them, and they could be missing the whole class, and they don't have to do the work. Right. And then staff started getting hip to that. Yeah. And then that lessened timeout because now people's like, well, fuck, I'm just being there with this work that I'm trying to avoid with no help for sure.
And the real therapy comes in, I think, therapy is important, I think, but the real therapy comes into these day-to-day, like, the day-to-day things that happen, like going from class to class and the stresses of every day. Like that's really what the therapy is. Like pulling myself out of situations when I dip. Like sometimes people wake up and not even in group home, just normal people. It's like I'm not in the mood to do anything today. Like people have mood swings and all kinds of stuff. So you're dealing with body chemistry. So it's encountering those challenges head on and being able to overcome them. I think that's where the real therapy is. I mean, you might get it spelled out to you verbally in therapy, but putting it into practice is like a daily thing. I got to put it into practice every day.
Yeah, I don't think we really had coping therapy. That's more of like learning how to cope with that situation. Because you're like, when you're in those situations like that, you really don't have room to be emotional because your emotions kind of like these people dealing with your emotions aren't your parents. They're there to do your job. So if you don't feel like getting out of bed, they're not going to do what a mom does, who is like, sometimes mom sit there and be like, hey, what's wrong? Or sometimes she'll be like, get the fuck out of that bed or whatever. Right. But sometimes they'll just be like, yo, you got to get out. And then they meet the situation with aggression. Like I remember being snatched out of bed. Yeah. Because I'm like, I don't feel like it. Just because you didn't have it in you emotionally. And they just grip you up and grab you up. And then you got to start your day. You like forced to start your day. Right. And they never really, like therapy was forced when you really had anger issues. Like if you were a kid and you were always on like a level 3 and above, then they didn't really have therapy for you. They didn't really you didn't have to talk to anybody. Right. You know what I mean? You had like the most freedom. You can go to the movie nights on the weekends and stuff like that. You only got to talk to somebody when you were like becoming too much.
See, that's not that. Yeah, that you should be helping kids at all levels. Not just because you're not a problem doesn't mean you don't have issues to deal with.
And I think kids would just they would let it build up, and then they'll just start destroying shit just so they can have somebody to talk to. Right. Yeah.
Well, I think that therapy, I mean, what it does now is you talk about these issues that you're not even, that therapy is good because of blind spots. You'll be talking about, like now, I'm talking about me, talking about in therapy, talking to a therapist now, it's because you start in the normal course of conversation realizing it's like, we're just all in our own world and we only know what we know growing up. We're kind of pretty much sheltered only with our own experiences. And so you'll talk in the course of therapy and you'll be like, just pretend, you'll just be like, oh, this is normal. And your therapist will go, no. I mean, an objective way to go, no, that's not normal. Yeah. That's not a thing. Yeah. That's something that happened to you and that's the way you're reacting to it. And you go, oh, really? And they go, yeah. And then it's like, it brings, number one, it brings awareness to it. And then you could like, oh, okay, maybe this is, because you don't even know some of the stuff that's holding you back. Yeah. Just because you're so conditioned into the way you were raised or whatever.
No, absolutely. I don't do therapy as an adult, though. I don't know. I'm more so like, there's nothing wrong with it.
Right.
I don't know.
What do you do instead? Kickboxing or?
Well, I try.
Showing our fans out? You showing them out? Just challenge them if you're going to.
What's up?
If you're going to challenge them, just challenge them, Monroe.
No, I'm not going to challenge nobody. Okay. I'm not that skilled.
Face kick. I'll do it. Face kick.
I like outlets like that. I like outlets. That for me, that works the most to be able to get the aggression out. Yeah, I hate when I don't like saying this, but like those things that you mentioned, I kind of like bringing them to the stage. I started feeling more comfortable going. I'm gonna go on stage and talk about this thing that may not be the same for other people, but I'm gonna talk about it as a matter of fact. Because it is a matter of fact to me. And then maybe the audience finds it funny that I'm completely wrong or I grew up completely different. You know what I mean? So I've been kind of using that as a weapon. And
that's great. Yeah. That's great comedically to do that. But I find that, there's comedians who are like joke people, and there's other comedians who are deeply personal. But I find that like... there's got to be a balance where it's like you can start off with a deeply personal, however you want to do it. Yeah. You can start off with a deeply personal thing. But if it's not getting laughs, it's like, okay, I got to figure out how to punch this up. Oh, I got to figure out how to, like, that's the beauty of it, I find, in taking something raw.
That's what makes it comedy. The other stuff around it is then just like public speaking, and you're just doing like a seminar, and there's a space for that, right? But like the stand-up portion of it is like, all right, you can talk about whatever you want, but the language you use has to be funny language.
You got to make it funny, And some people don't do it. Some people nowadays, especially, and I'm not complaining, but there's a genre out there where it's like, no, this is it's my truth. I'm like, yeah, I get it. I mean, it's your truth, but it's like it's not. You're not. There's a way to turn it. There's a way to punch it up.
They're just leaning. They're being lazy. They don't want to find the balance. Right. You know what I mean? Right. It's like playing a sport and you're just doing that one thing. You know what I mean? Like they're not. I don't know. You played sports and shit.
I played sports,
but I'm saying like it's like if you play baseball. I don't know. It's just like practicing your swing, but not practicing trying to like get around the bases and move quicker and shit. And you're just being lazy. You're not trying to be an all-around better athlete. Right. So that's how I look at comedy.
Yeah, I find people like who do that. It's like, oh, you're missing out because this could be great. I mean, you take something that's like, people aren't getting it or people aren't getting me. It's like you're not going the full distance with it. You're not, and as a result, something that could be earth-shattering and great is just kind of whatever.
Because they're too afraid. They're too afraid to admit that they don't have either the time or the energy to put into learning the necessary skills. Right. And it's like, it could be better, and you know it could be better, but you're settling for this, and you're calling it the best you can do.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And are you being honest with yourself?
Yeah.
It sounds like you need a creative timeout.
Yeah. Sit your ass down in front of that book and watch your video.
Watch your video. Well, this has been great conversation, man. Oh, man. It's organic, and our fans appreciate it because especially our fans are struggling with stuff. And Shannon appreciates it, too, and Natalie.
Because they like organic stuff.
They like organic because, Shannon is a vegan, and I think she's heavy into the organics. And I think Natalie might try to eat vegan.
I'm not currently, but I would theoretically like to be vegetarian.
What's theoretically? I said theoretically.
It's okay.
But I broke it down wrong. What do you mean theoretically?
Our fans don't understand any of this. So.
If there wasn't so much delicious food nearby the studio that I got for lunch every day that was not vegetarian.
Wow.
That's hilarious. That's just like, if it wasn't so delicious.
Yeah, it wasn't convenient.
Yeah.
That's so
convenient and delicious.
Yeah.
Do you find that? Do you eat it in front of Shannon and make eye contact
I
with her?
try not to.
Do you lick your fingers?
I also try not to.
Do you keep some of it under your nails when you touch her? Just like I got you with
That
the
would be
meat
pretty
fingers.
mean.
Yeah.
It would be provocative, and it would start a lot of talk, and maybe something could go viral here, and we could get more downloads.
Or do you?
But
tell
you
her,
guys speak your own and do your own truth.
Yeah. Do you tell her do you go, hey, taste this, and then quickly go, oh shit, I got meat
I would
in it.
never do that. I brought in brownies recently, and I felt very bad that I put eggs in it because then I couldn't give any to Shannon.
I'm used to those type of vegans. It's like, damn, I already ate it.
Yeah.
And they knew it though. They just
That's,
ignored the ingredients.
Hot girl vegans.
Yeah.
They're only vegan when it's convenient for them to say that they're vegan.
Freegans.
Yeah.
Right?
Vegans. Monroe, since we have you here, we had a deep, meaningful conversation that was still punched up. It's on brand. It was still funny.
And that's what you can expect when you come to see me.
And that's what you can expect from Monroe. And that's what also you can expect, that we've investigated him deeply in the foster care system. I worked it. He lived it. And we're doing it. And it's a studio that's a little bigger than a timeout room, but not much.
I'm comfortable here. This is like the size of your bed.
I'm comfortable here too.
Yeah, I'm good here. This is cool.
Yeah.
I feel good.
Is this the size of your bedroom?
No, my bedroom is bigger than this. I'm saying the group home bedroom.
Oh, I think you just shamed our fans out there.
Goddamn right, my bedroom bigger than the studio.
My bedroom is
You still live in the same
about
place?
this side. No, I don't live in Astoria. I live in the. I don't want our fans to stalk
I get it.
me.
Yeah, no, that place was nice.
A lot of them are crazy.
Yeah.
They're on hallucinogens.
Yeah, you can't trust them.
Can't trust them.
Can't trust
But I live in the city now.
Good for you.
In Gramercy, Kips Bay area.
Good shit.
Yeah. Just moved up in the world.
I like hearing that. You
And,
like it?
I would like to move into a luxury building if you guys give me more downloads.
I don't see the problem with that. I don't see why y'all can't do that.
I don't see a problem with it either. Spread the word.
All it takes is y'all just subscribing, and it'll automatically download the podcast.
I know. I mean, you guys spread COVID. Could you just spread the podcast?
Yeah.
Tiny
Jesus
vapors.
Christ.
Pretend they're tiny vapors. I want to get your take on other subjects.
What's up,
Monroe? While you're here, I got to utilize you as a resource for our fans.
How to make a person feel comfortable, Vecchio.
It's unseasonably warm in New York. Are you one of these people who wears shorts on a day like today? It's in the 60s, and I see people wearing shorts, and it's almost like they're trying to will the weather to change. And those people I resent. I'm like, it's not. It's no. Stop trying to wear shorts. Stop trying to will a summer day.
Yeah. Nah. First of all, New York not a short city.
No.
New York is a straight up jean and hot top city because you got so much shit that splash on you in the streets. So I only wear shorts on vacation or in non-New York places.
Okay, you won't wear shorts, period.
I don't.
What about when you're working out?
I will still do like the long pant underneath the short, like the tights.
You're dedicated to it.
Yeah. Well, also I got little skinny ankles too, so I try to beef them up with layering.
Do you push shorts people? If you see them, you give them a shove.
I will like kick dirt on their calves.
Yeah.
Which
is throwing shade, but physical.
Yeah, just a little like scuff, just like.
I love that.
Yeah,
I love that. You'll bully people in shorts.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Why are you in New York City with shorts and they also do like the sandal thing?
Right. I don't like the sandals at all. That really gets on my nerves. Yeah.
Ugh. In the
city? On the beach.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
New York. There's glass and crack needles in the street.
What about long pants and sandals?
On some hippie shit?
Yeah. Well, no, it's people who they're in businesses like something, a startup, Bitcoin or something, and they decide that they're going to wear slacks with sandals.
Well, Birkenstocks? Nah, that's too culty for me. That's like cult leader attire.
Yeah.
Like slacks and sandals.
Slacks or
and
jeans
like Birkenstocks and shit. Yeah, nah, that's some culty shit.
I don't love it.
Yeah.
And if you're one of these people and we're offending you, just change.
Crocs are a little bit more. I have Crocs, and my wife put me on Crocs. They're a little bit more appropriate because it's just a leather barrier. It's not leather. It's like rubber, just protecting your foot, and you still get your.
But do you find people? I mean, you travel. Do you find people dressing down? People who get on a plane sometimes look like they're in their pajamas.
Oh, that's me. I don't go.
Are you in your pajamas on a plane?
Not in my. My wife made me throw it away, but I had like the baggiest sweatsuit you could ever find. it looked like a fat suit damn near. It was like so baggy where it would be like falling off me, and that's how I would go to the airport, and it was knitted. It wasn't like a sweatsuit material. It was like
maybe she made you get rid of it because she figured you could get a woman in there. That's how big it was. You would have another woman in there.
And what you talking about, baby? It's just,
and she's right there.
Yeah. Oh, I like that.
Me too. A great
She's
idea.
a hater.
She's a hater.
Got some hating ass shit.
No Super Bowl commercials. I made a note of this for Shannon. We have 2 women. I don't know if you noticed it. I don't know if you're conscious of gender. Yeah. We're all people.
Gender is fluid. Gender so I don't know what they identify as.
But our gender is it's fluid, but we keep it bottled up in the other room.
Yeah.
No Super Bowl commercials where women were portrayed as astronauts this year. Natalie and Shannon, your reactions. There were no Super Bowl commercials where any women were portrayed as astronauts. And I don't know if that means women can't be astronauts, according to the media, or they still can be astronauts, but they've gone deep cover. Your thoughts?
I'm so warped by this show because, like, I'm so used to you telling us that we can be astronauts all the time. And then I'm like, the rest of the world hasn't caught up to that.
No. The rest of the world
I haven't seen the original Super Bowl commercial that you reference often about women.
Oh, yeah. Well, I've seen it, and it's like, women can do anything. It's like, yes. And it's like, this year, it's like, no.
Nah. They had to, because they had to pull back on some things. COVID shook a lot of shit up.
COVID is preventing women from being astronauts?
Yeah, limited the amount of jobs that are out there for women.
Women can't have jobs.
I think it's the opposite. I think that this show has helped to perpetuate the idea that women can be astronauts, and there is no longer a need for a commercial to say something that's so obvious.
Or maybe there are too many women astronauts, and they need to pull back. They're like, all you hoes want to go to space?
Maybe the commercial is men can be astronauts.
Men can be astronaut, but Monroe makes a good point.
We invented astronaut.
And Monroe said it. I'm just parroting it. Yeah. Are there too many hoes in space? Monroe, I don't know. I mean, hoes in space is probably going to get a lot of emails to us. But, you know.
I mean, look, I'm pro-ho in space.
Ho in space.
So I don't know what the problem is.
But, Shannon, thank you for saying that. We've raised awareness that there's probably a lot of women astronauts now, and they don't need to make such a point of it.
Yeah.
Right.
You know?
It's like, stop bragging.
Stop bragging that you're an astronaut.
Yeah.
We get it. Black History Month.
What's up with it?
I don't know. I'm asking you. What's up with it?
I don't know. I've been celebrating by watching documentaries, I guess.
Right.
I watched the Bill Cosby documentary, which was great. I
gotta watch that one. I haven't watched it.
Great. It's a great watch.
Right.
It's like 4 parts. It's probably collectively like damn near 4.5 hour documentary.
Wow.
It's great. It's really great.
Okay.
Yeah. That Fat Tuesdays is a good documentary. That's on Amazon.
What's it about?
That's about Guy Torry's room that he used to do at the store called Fat Tuesdays. And it was about how it
Really? It's all about Guy?
Yeah. And it's
Guy Torry's a great actor.
Yeah.
We were on Last Comic Standing like the year before we did it. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, why is he doing this show? He's like a great actor.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, he's a great comic, but he's like, his career's taken off acting wise. So I guess he just did it to be like, you know, get some burn from it.
And they talk about how that, like, from him running that show, like, opened a lot of doors for like other comics that got like on like Def Jam and stuff like that from people coming to that show. And so that's a good documentary. What else? There's a couple other black things out there. Attica. You know what I mean? You use Black History Month to remind yourself of the struggle.
The struggle.
Yeah, you go, you know what? Let me just charge my battery.
Okay. Charge your battery.
You charge your hate battery. You fuel the racial divide. You go, all right.
Do you go the opposite direction sometimes and go, I'm going to fuel the racial divide?
No, I don't. I'm
gonna throw gasoline on this fire.
I feel like I got a healthy, good relationship with race.
You have a good, you're friendly with the whites.
I don't subscribe to it as much as I was taught to, just because I'm like, it's something that isn't like, it's something that's social.
Right.
And it's something that we're moving towards kind of eliminating. So it can't keep focusing on the past too much if the future is, you know what I mean? Like,
right. I mean, it should be based on the individual. Yeah, right?
So my shit is based on how I treat people. And I'm like, the white people I know don't treat me like shit, and I don't treat them like shit.
Yeah.
And I just go around treating everybody like they treat me.
Right.
And that's it.
Treat the others the way that they treat you.
But I don't subscribe to it in the sense of like, yeah, man, they. Like, I'll do it sometimes for shits and giggles.
Right.
Like, because sometimes it's
kind of funny sometimes.
to shit on white people because I have that privilege. As a black person, I have the privilege to, like, shit on whiteness. And I'm going to take advantage of it.
Yeah.
But sometimes I'm like, I don't feel like it.
When, though? I mean, I think we deserve to know when you want to take advantage of it. Every other weekend? Would you agree to that? Not every weekend. We'll go to Kenny Bunkport. Where do whites go on vacation? We'll go to the Hamptons. And if you're going to do that every weekend, we'll just go to the Hamptons.
Absolutely. Let's do it.
And have a Chardonnay.
Yeah.
So be careful about insulting whites because we will leave.
Yeah. But y'all like it. Depends to a level. Yeah.
Not the whites with this haircut, but other whites.
Those whites
usually love it. Was Whoopi Goldberg framed?
Absolutely. You can clearly see she didn't say those things. It wasn't even her mouth moving.
And I don't know. She said that the Holocaust wasn't a Jewish whatever, but Goldberg.
Yeah.
I think that's a tribute.
Goldberg,
right?
You're talking
Her
about...
name is Whoopi Goldberg.
Oh, did you talking about the wrestler? I was like, he has an undefeated streak. Yeah.
He's Jewish too.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. So I think that we're pitting, are we pitting the black community against the Jewish community? Two very strong communities.
You know that's always the case.
And who does it? Who's behind it?
They.
Whites.
Whites
are behind it.
The powerful whites.
The powerful whites.
Because you need another word.
Oh, you made
for
that distinction
whites.
And you made eye contact with me when you said powerful whites.
Yeah, because I think it's flattery when you go, white people, they got all the power. It's like, not all of them.
How dare you, Monroe? I want to have the power, and you're telling me I don't have the power, and that's kind of a good thing?
Yeah.
You're kind of insulting me in a weird, charming way.
I've seen some whites with no power, and I'm like, Mike, I need another word for them.
I think Monroe is using his black privilege to incite a bad mood upon you.
You're using your black privilege to take the air out of my white supremacy? Is that right?
Absolutely. What have you done to be superior?
I don't know. I'm trying to run a podcast here.
White supremacy should be a membership thing. It should be like an accolade.
Should we have a card?
Yeah, it's like, what have you done to be a supremacist? Because y'all, not everybody with bald head and no teeth.
Right. We're not the best.
It's like, come on now, man.
Well, it should come with dental.
Yeah.
A white supremacy card.
I'm like, y'all got to be superior in order to be
Act superior. If you're going to pretend, if you're going to say that you're superior, you have to live an exemplary life.
Yeah, like you
can't just go, I'm a white supremacist.
You got to have ads. You got to have abs. You got to have a good GPA. Like you got to be the smartest of the whites in order to be a white supremacist.
Are standardized tests racist?
Absolutely. They know we don't know that shit.
But I'm not good at standardized tests, so I'm one of the good ones because I'm not good at standardized tests. And anybody, I go, what's your SAT? And some people are real smart, some of the whites. And they'll go 1380. I go, you're racist.
Yeah.
And I'm not because I score very low on all the standardized tests.
I don't know. I didn't even take it.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
What'd you take?
Nothing. I took the day off.
Well, I took it and scored very low, a crippling low score.
What is it?
Which it's a low it's low. I don't want to dip into podcast because it's a low sub. We're going to the opposite end of white supremacy, which is what's the opposite of white supremacy, Shannon? Can you Google it? Yeah. Is there an opposite? Because I think I'm on that low end of the spectrum where it's like I had low self-esteem, even though I was white. Yeah. Not was. I am still currently white.
Yeah.
And but I had low self-esteem growing up because if I got any kind of arrogance, my father would just crush it.
Yeah.
So I never got to the
because he didn't want you to be a supremacist.
I never got to the
he knew
level
of
supremacist.
Yeah, he knew
I never even got to self-esteem. We're working on that now.
Yeah.
In therapy.
Good. Don't go too hard.
Inferiority.
So white inferiority.
Yes.
That's what you
white inferiority.
Where are they at?
I mean, we're the group that's like everybody's better than us.
Yeah.
White supremacy is like we're better than everybody, but I'm with a group of whites who's like everybody's better than us. And most of our fans are white inferiorists. White inferiorists. Okay, gotta move fast.
We gotta go. Move in.
Who do you take medical advice from now?
In life?
Yeah.
The doctor.
You go to doctor still?
Yeah, I got insurance. I'm putting that to use. But they can't be my age. They got to be a little older than me.
Gray hair?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You got to survive the generation.
What about I'm floating this idea to you. Potluck medical care. You don't have health insurance. You just go in and you go, I need surgery on my arm, and they just give you whatever they think.
Yeah.
So they might do your arm, but they might give you breasts.
That just sounds like surgery in Mexico.
Is that what surgery? That's surgery in
for
Mexico.
A breast implant, but they took some organs out.
Right. You have to risk it. It's a gamble. Are you a gambler?
Nah.
Would you gamble with your medical? If you had no other options, you go, my arm hurts, and then you come out and you have a pair of fake
Probably
breasts.
not. Nah. And would they also fix the arm? Or
Yeah, they would definitely fix the arm. They might do something else, but it might be helpful. It might be like a liposuction, like it's like something you need.
Okay, it depends on. I wouldn't use it on the arm thing. I would use it on the more severe surgery, on something life threatening.
Okay.
So that way, whatever they also did is still like, well, I really needed it because I was dying.
Well, I like a hospital that like does it according to whatever mood they're in.
Yeah.
It's like we were in a sassy mood today, so we gave you a butt implants and we fixed your arm. And then you text them like, I didn't order butt implants, and they just send you an emoji
Of like Kim Kardashian twerking.
Something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
Okay. So my next one is, should we attack Russia? On social media. Should we attack Russia because they're attacking the Ukraine right now?
Yeah. Fuck it.
Okay.
I don't know.
We tweet at them?
I think we should. I think we should get our bots and go against their Facebook bots.
Send them a meme.
Like, how come we always like, we got to protect ourselves from Russian bots? It's like, nah, get our own.
Right. Get our bots to infiltrate them.
Yeah. All those bots all those people who like took down Jussie Smollett and Harvey Weinstein, how come they ain't going up against Russia? Cyber.
Right. And they're not focused on Russia.
Yeah, they only focus on the celebrities.
How's your self-talk?
I keep it to myself. I don't really do it out loud.
Right. No. I do it out loud because I do affirmations. Oh. I wake up in the morning and I wake Katie up sometimes because I'm screaming, I'm very powerful. I'm very powerful. Do you find that there's a lot of leather outfits in the city? There's a lot of women wearing all leather. I've seen that, and it's very shiny.
Yeah, at first I thought they were trying to like lose weight, like when you do
a sweatsuit.
Yeah, like a spot reduction thing.
Right.
But now it's just a fad.
I think it's a fad.
Yeah.
And women are doing it.
They all look like Catwoman.
Yeah.
But like different variations.
That's exactly what it is. Catwoman.
Like sleepy Catwoman.
Or diabetic Catwoman. Cat that has diabetes, and then you have to give them 3 shots a day and put a pill in bologna and try to trick them into eating it. Shannon has a diabetic Pat Monroe. I'm sorry, that was my way of taking shots.
I thought it was a good fat joke.
It was a great joke all the way around, but good luck getting a horn on that one.
No, I thought you was calling the people.
Do you have a leather? Do either of you ladies have a leather suit?
Did you get them Lululemons?
And I'm thinking those outfits may be latex.
Yes.
Like,
they're
latex.
Shiny, So they all walk around looking like imps?
I know.
I don't know what that is.
That's a person that wears like the leather and they got like the whole.
Do you mean gimp?
Oh, yeah.
That gimps was the imps or gimps? What's the leather? No, there's the one.
What am I thinking?
The masochist.
No, so
the ones who get sexually
American Horror
abused.
Story Part 1, one of the killers was like an imp or whatever,
you're right,
and
Monroe.
they dressed up in the leather
It's a small, mischievous devil or sprite. Yes, you're right.
See, I know shit sometimes, but I just don't have the confidence to like push it.
Well, we didn't know any of that, Monroe.
No.
So you're one step
So
ahead.
maybe women are walking around showing that they're submissive.
Maybe they're walking around. Yeah, they're walking around in these leather outfits now.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a submissive. It's a.
I don't know.
I don't know what it is either.
Or
It feels.
Yeah.
It feels. I don't know.
It's the new power suit. They letting you know they gonna fuck you.
They're superheroes.
Yeah, they like dun.
And they could turn the tables. Okay.
Man.
You notice that most NFL players and coaches have model partners, girlfriends.
Absolutely, that's the way to do it.
Is it?
Yeah.
What about other women out there who are not
yelled
models?
at all day. You getting yelled at all day by just the testosterone driven men. You want to come home to something pretty to look at.
You're getting yelled at.
Because they're going to yell at you too, and you don't want it to come from like an ugly face.
Right.
Yeah.
You got to be yelled at by
you getting all them bumps to the head.
Right.
And you getting yelled at by
and you're also getting millions of dollars. Let's not forget that.
Yeah.
But is it important to get yelled at by somebody with a pretty mouth?
It helps. It cushions the blow. Like, God damn, your mouth is so pretty. I'll take that cursing out.
Shannon, we have no time for anything now. We've exhausted Monroe's resources here.
Oh, was there more questions?
There was more, but we're out of time because we went hard and we have no regrets on this podcast. And maybe that's a shirt or something. No regrets.
Go hard, no
MVI, no regrets. And in the back, women can be astronauts.
Just get it all in one shot.
One shot.
And you're not better than me.
You're not better than me. One piece of merch.
That's a lot of stuff.
Maybe a matching headband. Something. We could just do accessories.
I see that.
Just not shorts for you because you wouldn't wear them.
And maybe at best, maybe those joggers that you can hike up a little bit.
Okay.
Man.
Hiked up joggers.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to plugs right now, Shannon. We don't have to do the drop. I'll just do them. My plugs, guys. I have another podcast called The Macaroni Rascals. It's me, Greg Stone. Please subscribe. It's also a Patreon. Macaroni Rascals on Patreon. You guys can find it. You're smart enough to do that, at least. So please subscribe and please contribute. We have a few tiers on there. And I will have a few tiers if you don't subscribe.
Yeah.
Macaroni Rascals with Greg Stone. Also, I have dates, MikeVecchione.com. Please follow. I have some road dates, MikeVecchione.com. I am going to Texas tomorrow. This will be out already. I will be gone from Texas. But I'm traveling. So, and also a big shoot date in Nashville, Tennessee, April 19th. I'm shooting an hour brought to you by 800-Pound Gorilla and Nate Bargatze, my friend who is famous and kind enough to direct and produce my special in association with 800-Pound Gorilla. So if you're in the Nashville area, April 19th, I'm doing an hour. So please come out and support your boy. And all other dates, MikeVecchione.com, @ComicMikeV on all social media platforms. And I got my Instagram back. Hackers. Hackers, another word for hater. So I got it back, and I appreciate your support for this podcast and our guests. Follow all our guests. And Monroe, what do you got? What's coming up?
So what I have coming up, I'm at Hilarities in Cleveland. Ooh. You like that club?
I'm doing it too, April 14th, 15th.
I'm doing March 4th and 5th.
It's unbelievable. It's a great club. You'll love it.
All right. Yeah. And my first time going to Cleveland, I fuck with Cleveland because Drew Carey. Drew Carey.
Cleveland rocks.
And LeBron and stuff.
And I'm from Youngstown originally. And LeBron wants you to know he's from Akron.
Oh, okay. So is that different?
Yeah, it's different than Cleveland, both in Ohio.
Oh, okay. No, I knew. I'm talking about attitude-wise. Is it like Pittsburgh and Philadelphia?
I don't know, but there was a thing in the newspaper that LeBron made a clear distinction that he's not from Cleveland. He's from Akron. So I don't know if he was taking shots at Cleveland because he doesn't play for the team anymore. He's in L.A. So I don't know if he was like that was a pointed thing to make the distinction that he's from Akron and not Cleveland.
Oh, he's probably trying to put his city on the map. So he's definitely.
Well, I think he was trying to dunk on Cleveland.
Yeah, I think so too. But I will be in Cleveland.
Okay.
Also, for my other dates, because right now I have a bunch, and you can just find those on my website at MonroeMartinComedy.com or on my social media, Monroe Martin III on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
All right. Monroe Martin. Shannon?
You can follow me on Instagram at Shannon Lee 6982. Listen to my podcast, The Thing Is, Ding. We talk about bad dates, fighting, and ghosts. Wherever you listen to Mike Vecchione Investigates, you can also watch it live for free every single Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern at gasdigitalnetwork.com/live. That's absolutely for free. The best way to support the show is to go to gasdigitalnetwork.com, use promo code MVI. You'll get a 1-week free trial, which gives you access to every single episode of MVI, as well as every single episode of every show on the Gas Digital Network, including the 3 brand new shows this year, which is Yo MMA Rap with Louis J. Gomez and Dave Smith, Berg's Base with Aaron Berg, and Wild Goose with Zach Wild and JD DeServio. So you get all of that for free for a week when you use promo code MVI. If you listen on iTunes or YouTube, make sure to rate, review, and tell a friend. It helps the show to grow. Go to podcastmerch.com for t-shirts, hoodies, and mugs. And if you have your own investigation to submit, send it into MikeVecchioneInvestigates@gmail.com.
Help us to grow, everybody. Shannon said it. I'm reaffirming it. We need growth. Please help us to grow. We're here by the grace and the power of Gas Digital Studios, but we would like to grow. If no growths happen, we will eventually get put into the small studio and then eventually probably be doing the podcast outside somewhere, maybe in the shed, and then not at all. So we need your support for the podcast, guys. We the investigations take a lot of time and energy, so please continue to support us, and we love you. For Shannon, for Natalie, for my guest, Monroe Martin, please follow him.
Follow me.
We'll see you next week. Guys, thank you for listening to Mike Vecchione Investigates. And if you go to gasdigitalnetwork.com and use promo code MBI, you will get 1 week free. That's gasdigitalnetwork.com, promo code MBI, you will get 1 week free. Thank you again for listening to Mike Vecchione Investigates on the Gas Digital Network.